All right, home racing fans, it is Revoslot time once again. Yes, these little cars, they got me. They're just cute little rascals. I don't even try to hide it anymore. I don't know much about the history of the cars as far as growing up and watching them. Nope, I just didn't do that. But thanks to the internet, I've watched some incredible racing with these little cars. You got to hand it to the drivers out there that threw these things around. Just amazing to watch. So do yourself a favor, Google it, the Group 2 racing, and the specific models too. Sometimes they raced in different series, you know, rally series, things like that. So look that up, and you're in for a treat. And the BMW Alpha, the Escort, the cars in the back there have already been so popular. It just, like I said, they're just so much fun to run. And now we have the Kadetts, and they're really nice cars as well. Not much has changed mechanically, and that's great because we want to have a nice, even field. So anyway, glad to see these new cars have just arrived. We're going to take a closer look, do a little bit of tuning, and get them on the road. And on the outside, as usual, Revoslot's done just a really good job. Like I said, if you Google these cars, you look up the history on them, you see some prototype photos. They've done pretty well. Of course, this is the rally version, 1979. Very well done. The paintwork here, as we've said before with Revoslot, just very opaque, very clean. No shortage of gloss. They're just always, all the models from them are like this. It really does set a high standard for others to follow. So excellent looking car. And the Castrol version, well, some of you are fans of anything Castrol, kind of like Martini, Jaeger, Golf. Some people just love this scheme. And again, they've done just a pretty good job. And then finally, the historic car from 2014, just really, really nice shine. I will say one thing, that this wing is not really that sturdy. So as beautiful as these cars are, the durability of this wing doesn't get high marks. I broke this pretty fast. As you can see, I used some UV glue. I don't mind showing you, I used some UV glue there to put a bead there to bring it back. Just very, very small pieces of plastic. And actually, I was just picking it up accidentally on the track. I was just picking it up with my hand, and it just folded up, so not very strong. So please be careful with that. But again, on the outside, like I said, do your research. You'll find out they've done a pretty good job as usual. And on the inside, not much change against the other cars, and that's great in the series. 21K motor, 9-tooth pinion, 24-tooth spur gear, standard 3mm axles, and of course our anodized chassis with the bearings, independent fronts, wheel sizes, everything the same. That's good. There is one little difference here, and I'm going to show it to you, is this front chassis plate. Okay, they're different by body types. I'm going to show you the body types. Body type B and body type C. Now, body type B is this one, the Rally Monte Carlo, and body type C are the other two cars. As you can see on the front end, the bumper's different, spoiler's different, different shape, different size. Flipping them over, you'll notice the difference in the size and the angle right here of the front chassis plate. So there's a body type B and a body type C, which begs the question, body type A. I really don't know. I haven't got confirmation on that, but I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. But anyway, that's just a difference with those cars. Just a simple body plate right here up front. Everything else is the same. We've covered tire gluing before. I just have a couple things to go over with you, just as a refresher, reminder, so to speak. First of all, these shims. I've had a few questions about the shims that I use on these axles. These are H&R Racing, and they are for 1/8 axles. Yes, they the few thousandths diameter difference than the 3mm axle, just a little bit large, but not that much. I mean, they really fit this axle very well, at least well enough for what we're going to use them for. So I'll show the graphic up there so you can order these if you need them. As far as cleaning the wheel before gluing, I mean, everybody has their own preference. 90% alcohol, even some naphtha, or Windex, anything to make sure that the surface is clean. As far as making a better surface for the adhesive to adhere to, try a scouring pad and just roll the wheel over the pad like this. You don't have to do it a lot, just a little bit. As you can see, it's changing color, and what you're doing is you're just scoring the surface just a little bit, and what that does is that just gives a very good surface for your adhesive to bond to. So you do that, and then of course, a little Q-tip, and you can just come by with your alcohol and just a little bit on there, and just go around the wheel, cleaning it like that, getting into the groove, and making sure that it's clean. Now we have a very, very clean surface for the glue to adhere to. As far as the adhesive goes, you can use anything you want. There's 100 suggestions out there. I can just advise you that, in my opinion, you should not use a fast-setting super glue. It just doesn't give you time to work with the tire on the wheel. Regardless whether it has a rib or not, or if the tire is custom made to fit this, you still need a few seconds to get it mounted on there and to roll it on there and to make sure it's fully seated. And fast-setting super glue just doesn't give you that chance, or at least it doesn't for me. So I still like the Sally Hansen's hard as nails clear nail polish. If you want a little bit more strength, just try the Tester's Model Glue. It works just fine. I've never had a failure. For this car, I'm going to use Paul Gage tires. There's two sizes, 17080 and 18080. I'm going to use the 18, the larger diameter, 18 millimeter, and then put them in the tire machine and turn them down. Otherwise, if you're going to glue and go, you can just use the 17s. Now, to show you Paul Gage tire, I've turned it inside out. You'll notice that there is no rib that fits inside the groove. It is smooth. So, yes, you will have to glue the tires on the wheel, but that's okay. We almost always glue our tires to the wheel when we're changing out to different compounds. So, with the wheel right there and the shims, right, just like that. Now, we can just add some of our favorite adhesive. In this case, I'm just going to use the Model Glue, just like that. Just a little bit. Toothpick, bring it around, make sure it's inside the groove. You don't really need a lot, just a light film. See, this is why you need time to work with things. So, we'll turn our tire back the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Now our shims are going to come in handy. We're going to take our tire, place it on there like that. Now we can turn it over. We can press down and press on the tire just like that. And then holding the shims, we can roll it, making sure it's fully seated all the way around. And now, holding it like this, you have those shims, you can just turn that and rotate it, and you're checking to see has any wobble. Again, this is why it's really nice using an adhesive that isn't fast setting. It gives you time to work with. So there we go. You might find a high spot, low spot. You can go around and adjust it. There, see, that's just a little bit high right there. Go through that, turn it back around, do it again, and just get it to where nice and even, no wobble, looking good. So about 20 or 30 minutes, then I'm going to put it in the tire machine and get them true. And here's the other part where these shims come in handy. As you can see, I just got it mounted directly into the machine. The diameter of them is a little bit large, so they don't fully seat into the forks, but they have just enough bite, keeps it nice and steady. I have this around 4 or 5 volts. You don't need a lot of voltage. And because of the diameter of the pulley and the belt actually being a little bit larger than the wheel and tire, I'm just sanding one side at a time. That's fine. I find myself doing that with a lot of wheels and tires these days. So I have a little bit of 1000 grit over here, and we'll just get it knocked out. But these come in handy, so you don't have to try to use the bearings or other bushings. Yep, just fun little cars. A little louder than most, but with some break-in, they smooth out. But they're really worth the price of investment. You really have to look, you know. They release 3 at a time. So you've got the Alphas, the Fords, the BMWs, now the Opels, 3 at a time. And precision parts, unique chassis, different from the rest. To me, they're well worth it. Where some companies release one car, well, you know, if you're racing with a group or a club, that one car really doesn't do any good for you, especially when it doesn't have any spares. Where these have spares for days, and they're built to race, built to last. So to me, the higher entry fee, well justified, but that's just me. Anyway, big thumbs up, Revoslot. Really have not disappointed me since their first release, and well, I didn't even blink. I just ordered all 3. If that tells you anything. Anyway, hope you guys having some fun out there, and you get a chance to race some of these. Maybe add 1 or 2 to your own collection. So, have fun, be safe. See you guys online.